Hey, hey, hey! How's everybody doing out there in TV land?
I guess the fair isn't too good because he's looking to the side.
No, he's doing a pose in front of the it out. Like
Listen, when you got a big pair of lips behind you, you always get kissed all the time. So let's talk it out.
Wow. Man, what a great day to kick it off, man.
Well, he's looking like you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Hey, sometimes you got to get loved by yourself, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I am excited. I am definitely excited for today's interview. We have on the show today a man who has been there, done that literally in several arenas, from artist to entrepreneur, manager, all sorts of different things. And now he's doing a lot of major things in the Chicago area, high class events, networking with all sorts of different people. He's a good friend of mine and a good guy just all around. It's my pleasure to bring on the one and only Draz, owner of Leap Designs and Print. Correct, Mr. Draz?
You've been butchering my name for about 10 years.
Right, I sure have.
You've been butchering my name for about 10 years.
Man.
I'll still give you a pass, though.
He's like, dude, for the 15th year.
It's all good. I've been called worse, so it's all good.
Right. Well, I am just so excited, man, to have you on today. All of our viewers, I know that from today they're going to learn a thing or two, or at least, know who to reach out to in the States for certain things, to get certain things done or things of that nature. So how we're going to do it today is, we're going to go ahead into briefly who you are, what have you. And then I'm just going to pass it on off to DJ Despair and DeBoss and let them, ask you everything. And then, we'll just end it on out with me, since I know a little bit more.
You think you know a little bit more. No.
Right. So with that being said, DJ Despair, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, the floor is still yours because you still haven't let him introduce himself.
Right.
Well, I was. Look, don't start with me.
I don't know what's going on with him.
I had a long morning. Y'all tripping.
Hey, let's just talk it out.
Hey, let's just talk it out. You always the one to say something crazy. There's always one.
And he didn't mention the sponsor either in a while.
Yeah. Well, Mobbed Up Water. I need to get some more water. They need to sponsor me some more doggone water.
So,
and you can show those new shirts he got there too if people want to buy one.
Right. So, Mr. Draz, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Finally, we're there. No.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry.
My name is Draz, Asbury City. I am owner of Leap Design and Print Company. I'm an entrepreneur. And under that, the entrepreneurship, I am a national youth educator for entrepreneurship under a nonprofit organization called Youth Entrepreneurs, based out of Kansas City. And I do artist management and I also do real estate investments. So I got my hats in my hands on a few different things.
So how did it feel from going to an artist into artist management?
The transition was good. The transition was good because what I do with that is I take a lot of my mistakes and the things that I've been through as an artist, and I put that before the artist that I manage, and to say, you know what, this didn't work for me, but this is what I found out. So basically, like, I took my position as a test dummy, I want to say, and say, you know what, don't make my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? This is what worked for me or didn't work for me. Let's go ahead and implement that and find a better strategy, for you as an artist. And a lot of artists that I've managed respected that because they know that I've been in their shoes. So it's like, you're not going to buy pencils from somebody that can't write. You want somebody that has that experience. So.
Nice. So it's like, as far as you've been in the game, like, what is your highs and lows?
Um, my highs, my highs really have been just helping, helping others succeed. I've been, as an artist, on the artist standpoint, I've won several awards and had licensing and publishing placements and things like that. But I don't even, really credit a lot of that stuff. Really, it's just me being able to give back and take my experiences and further somebody else. Whether it be the kids that I teach entrepreneurship with, or on the music side with the artists that I manage. Some of my lows really, just been moving too fast. You move too fast, and you don't, calculate your steps, or you don't, take any careful steps or anything like that. You move too fast, you're going to slip, you're going to stumble. So those really are the things that I would, take back. And I really wouldn't even call them my lows, because those were, things that I learned.
Oh no, those are learning lessons. Cause,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time you take a stumble, it's always a bigger
yeah.
step to
You
go
learn
back,
from it.
right?
You learn from
You only learn how to crawl once, right?
it. There you go.
So.
There you go.
D-Boss.
Yes. Your name. At first, I thought that was your name that when Chill pronounced the name, but then I was saying, why would you call yourself that? That's not nice. That's not nice. People probably think that was his name. But how did you come up with your name?
My name, it came from when I was an artist. When I first came in the music industry as an artist, I was known as Drastic. And once I started furthering myself and started putting ink on paper and different things like that, for trademark wise, I had to shorten it. I had to switch it up. So that's really where it came, and it became a catchy thing. A lot of my guys, a lot of people on my clique, they always called me Draz anyway. So, it was just a way to shorten it.
Well, you got the D's going on. I'm DJ Despair.
Right.
D-Boss. Well, Chill. Well, he's in a different thing.
Yeah, he's special all the way. He been.
We know. And I just want to know, as an entrepreneur, and now you're doing things, what inspired you to do what you do?
What inspired me really was just just wanting to see others succeed. I've enjoyed more so the behind the scenes thing. And like I said, I've been out there on the forefront. I've been out there on the surface, and it's really like I see potential in a lot more people, and so that really stunted my success musically in a lot of situations. Because I'll see potential in somebody else, or I'll see, a move over here or something like that, and I'll stop what I'm doing to kind of, further progress with that and focus on that. So, really that's what it is. It's just me willing to give back and wanting to give back and, fall back and, just make the plays in the background.
All right. And what is Leap Design and Print? What does that do? So people out there that don't know, maybe they want to come to you or do things or.
Yeah. Leap Design and Print is it's a full service graphic design and print company. So, we do everything from, something as small as a logo or something as simple as a logo on up to billboards and signages for different businesses and things like that. We do produce nationally. So it's not like we're, a local company or anything like that, but, it's full service graphic design, print company, print facility, here at the home office. And then we have a production facility as well.
Okay. So why would people come to you? Is it your people that know you, or why would people want to come to you? Do you offer something that's spectacular? Because it's a difficult business that you're in, right?
Yeah. No, it's definitely difficult. What sets it apart really is because, and as you can probably see in the background, Leap, the name Leap itself comes from, taking a leap of faith into your business. A lot of us, a lot of our clientele and things like that, they're startups, small businesses, entrepreneurs, and different things like that. And that's one thing I feel myself as an entrepreneur has in common with them. So I take my experiences when I consult with them and say, let's go ahead and take that leap. That's what with the logo, the P with the umbrella, because you're taking a jump in there, you're building your umbrella on the way down.
Well, the leap.
Excuse me.
I know we got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
It's something you're going to tell us when you come back. You see, that's you, Draz, at your best.
That's right. Speaking of leap, I got to take a leap and dive into these commercials.
Everybody got to be doing that.
Some of these bills. So on that note, we'll be right back with more Talk It Out.
All right.
Looking for a TV show that brings you a raw, uncut, unbiased opinion? What about a show providing a platform to tell us about your business or talent? Tune in to Talk It Out, Monday through Friday, hosted by Chill of Come Clean Empire and his co-hosts, The Boss, Corey Whitmore, and DJ Despair, where we bring you not just a TV show, but a TV experience.
Welcome to Real Life Matters. I'm your host, D-Boss. Real Life Matters is a power-packed, inspired program that brings you real people with real matters. If you are a company, brand, or artist, we will take you to the next level. Watch Real Life Matters Monday to Friday right here.
Rhythm.
Blessed love from Barbados, or as we so beautifully like to say here on the island, what going on, lovely people? I'm Bugina Kente, the spirit of the people. I'd like to welcome you to the Rhythm Caribbean Top 10 Countdown, bringing you some of the hottest artists, songs, and videos from across the entire Caribbean. So stay tuned.
Rhythm. All right, and we are back. Yeah, baby.
We gotta get on rhythm. We gotta get on.
Yeah, rhythm. Caribbean, yeah.
Mr. Rhythm when you go down there.
Got me in the mood now.
Well, this leap.
Go ahead, Despair. I saw you put your mouth to the microphone.
It was me.
Yeah, you ready?
Z-Boss, man. I ain't jumping in yet.
He ain't jumping in. Leap. You see, when we came back, leap. You see, that's you. That's the name.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, that's why I asked you the question so that you could tell us how made leap. So you just came up with leap, or it came to inspiration, or how did it come to you?
It came as inspiration. As an entrepreneur, it's like, I often do that, when it comes to any business venture, or anything like that, any idea that I have, it's like I just close my eyes and I leap, and then I let faith take everything, and I let, and I build my parachute on the way down. So, that's really where it came from. We just rebranded 2 years ago. It used to be my name, Draz Creative Marketing. And then I said, as we're broadening our horizons as a company and taking strides to be bigger, I want to have something that's more relative to our clientele. And like I said, it's that leap of faith that all of our clients that are entrepreneurs and small business owners take.
And that's important.
Yeah, definitely.
Leap of faith, that's your next thing. Take a leap of faith, come with us.
Definitely.
Speaking of leaping, you ever think about leaping back into rapping?
I still write. I still write, but as far as like being on the stage and on the forefront, I'm good.
It's like one time I was doing a show with Corrupt, and then I said something and it went in rhyme. And Corrupt looked at me and says, "You rap," and I said, "I used to." He's like, why don't you anymore? And I said, because I just want to put rappers on. Like, I learned from my mistakes. I just want to, like, literally, a manager pissed me off. That's why I don't do it no more. Like, now I want to, but back then, you know, that one person what made you, and what was really bad in your career that made you want to say, like, I don't want people to go through this?
It was 2000 and I'm dating myself, but it was 2007. 2007, I had my manager at the time brought me some paperwork for Slip and Slide Records, and you know, with that, it was kind of like it was an uneven deal. You know, of course, I was younger and I was naive, and you know, just like most artists, we're not gonna, you know, read every line, every fine print, and different things like that. We're just gonna get excited and, you know, try to help our people. Like, oh, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be on, and it turned out, you know, after I got my signature on the dotted line, it turned out to not be what I thought it was. You know, it was a snake situation. Manager ended up taking, you know, taking majority of the money and left me only with, you know, a small pot of marketing. And you know, that's what the deal turned out to really be. You know, so that's why I was like, you know what, let me get in, make sure I'm proficient as far as reading contracts and different things like that. Went to school for entertainment management, and I was like, you know what, I'm a dead all of that.
Yeah, because a lot of people have gone through that in the industry, and that's why a lot of
Yeah,
people understand why a
to this
lot of
day,
people
you know,
stop
to this day,
rapping. Like,
a lot of artists do, you know.
because like even now with like a lot of these artists just signing online for just streaming, don't
Yeah.
even know they're getting ripped off.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like streaming became the new label. Like it's just like
Yeah, that, you know, and that right there, I mean, that was definitely a red flag. That was my second opportunity. My first was with Trax Records, located here in Chicago. You know, and it was like they expected me to walk away with $20,000, you know, out of a deal based on, you know, being a new artist and different things like that. Back in 2001, it was like I wasn't ready for it. I can go to, you know, 9 to 5, or I can go back on the block and try to make more than that. You know, you're trying to give me $20,000 to give up my life and make me a puppet. So,
Mm, yeah, that's some serious, you know.
yeah,
A
yeah. So I'm good.
lot of artists,
Yeah,
man.
I'm good where I'm at. You know.
Yeah, a lot of artists, they go through the same thing, you know. And I mean, what do you have as far as like, what would you recommend, or what would you say to an artist out there that's, you know, getting, they don't have much and they're getting off of these bogus deals and this and that, and they trying to, you know, but they don't have nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, what would you say to people like that, man?
You know, I say, you know, learn the entertainment business. You know, learn the business of things. You know, my most recent artist that I managed, she was hands on. You know, anything that we had going on, we put it in front of the table and said, look, this is what the paperwork entails. This is what we got in the works. This is what's planned on. You know, because I don't want to be that experience that I went through. I don't want to be that backstabber. So it's like, you know, learn the entertainment business part of it, because that's majority of the entertainment business is the business part. And then there's your artistry. So definitely learn that, or have somebody that you trust on your team and on your side to handle that, so you can focus on your artistry if that's what you want to do.
Okay, okay. So, what would you say is the most precious moment that you've had as an artist, not as an entrepreneur?
Hmm.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
But as an artist,
Hmm.
what would you say is the best moment that you had?
The best moment I had was I guess yeah, it's a couple of them, but I guess if I had to pick one, I'll say the Source magazine. You know, when I had a feature in the Source magazine back in 2003.
yeah, I have that
You know,
one still.
that was my first, you know, write up, and it was kind of big, and I didn't even know it got pulled through. A cousin of mine was at Walgreens or was in a store somewhere, you know, picking up a magazine, and she saw the article and she called right away, and she was like, "Did you know?" And I'm like, "No, you sure it's me?" You know what I'm saying? Because we went through it. You sure? You know,
I
and I mean,
remember
we
that
didn't have
article
like
to this
camera
day.
phones. we had camera phones, so you couldn't like FaceTime or nothing like that. I'm like, no, but then she bought it and I was like, damn, like I was floored, so I guess that would be the one.
Yeah, I remember that you were in the artist page, the section for new up and coming artists.
Yeah,
that's how I found out about you because I used to use the source to find out about artists.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that makes sense. I have a huge source collector.
Definitely.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So tell the people. Well, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Because that's a long story, what I'm about to ask you here. So what I want to do is I want to pay a couple of bills first. Go ahead and pay a couple of bills first. Then we come back and ask, some other key things that the people want to know, man.
Okay. All right.
That's right. So with that being said, we'll be right back.
It's a bloody start for 2021. Just 1 month down and already 133 murders. That's 32 murders more than the same period in 2020. The latest data come as Insight Crime, a foundation capturing criminal data in the Caribbean and Latin America, found that for 2020, Jamaica had the highest rate of homicides in the region. With a total of 1,301 murders for 2020,
So Travis, why is it that no matter how many times people are elected, how much money is spent, it doesn't change?
It's simply because we can't depend on the government to change poverty. If we depend on our government to change poverty, it's going to continue to grow.
Why?
Because the government is a reflection of us as a people, and poverty is a reflection of us as a people.
Bo is a McNab. He is primarily used as a working dog for cattle, livestock.
He's very low maintenance, doesn't shed very much, very minimal eating. He likes to mainly drink water because he's on the go all the time.
He'll drink more water than he does eat food. And we'll just run, chase, play all day long.
Oh, the doggy!
He's very low maintenance.
Yo, do you know that the Source magazine you were in is going for $60 to this day?
Oh, I need some of that.
Yeah, right. But the man, not to take off the Source, but that doggy looks so cute.
Really?
He just had a big mouth. That dog had a big mouth looking at the camera like, get this camera out my face. Oh man. I think we're the only show on CaribVision that talks about the commercials. Like, like, did you just see that commercial? That's why we talk it out. We talk it out, man. Just talk it out. So, Draz.
Thank you, man.
No, see, y'all don't understand. Like, for years, and literally years, I've called Draz, and he don't like that.
I don't like it either.
But I honestly be forgetting. I'd be like, hey, Draz. He just got to the point where he's like, screw it. I'm not gonna say it. So for the record out there, people, it is Draz. Okay? Draz. Mm-hmm. So, Draz, how did you manage to get involved in the design, print, that form of business? What made you go into that coming out of music? Did you see like a demand for it, or what inspired that?
I've always been an artist, not talking musically, but an artist. Like I went to my minor in college was computer animation, so I've always been into the arts and things like that. I made a lot of my early album covers, artwork, and used to do it for the homies and different things like that. and flyers here and there, but never really made it a profession. And I just kept doing it and doing it. People gassing me up like, "Oh, you should do it. You should do this." And so that's when I stepped into the graphic design thing, making it like a semi main thing, main source of income. And people started asking to get things printed for the things that I would design for them. And it's going back to a code that I grew up in. It was like cut the middleman. So it was like once I started investing and getting money and started reinvesting, I started with a printer here and different things like that. Instead of paying people out to print different things, it was like cut the middleman and do it yourself.
Now look at you.
Yeah.
You got a big old state-of-the-art design and print center.
Yeah, it started with a little, foyer, a little entryway in my apartment, one day with a couple of printers, and then, went from there to a basement, got a house, and, turned our basement into a print office, and then we outgrew that. It was like we need bigger equipment. The name started growing. It was like we need bigger equipment to service the demand and things like that. So, just really started reinvesting the money and taking the money that I was making, reinvesting it into the company. This year, actually at the end of last year, we got a major partnership and a major investor on our team that really kind of took it there. And so now we got almost 20 pieces of equipment. So.
Nice. So, in saying all of this, right, going from an artist to an entrepreneur and being successful at it, mind you, what would you say is the most important quality to have going into, this type of work, like from being an artist to being someone that's the boss?
Yeah. It's really, just being a forward thinker. That's the main quality, because you have to stay ahead. You have to stay ahead of the curve at anything, whether it's been in the music industry, whether it's in, the business industry, the business field and things like that. You got to stay ahead of the curve, especially with, with my field, being in design and print. You got to, be prepared for what's next, because people are saying, a lot of different things are going digital now. So it's like you got to be innovative and say, okay, how can I stay in business? How can I do this? Paper is becoming obsolete, so they say. So it's like, how can we do this? How can we stay in business? How can we stay ahead? And so that's why you got to, be a forward thinker. You got to think innovatively and stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Despair. Some of those intimate questions that you normally have for artists, I think that it will be a good moment to ask Mr. Draz.
I'm gonna get used to this.
These great on point questions that you have all the time.
Where do we start?
Think the old Canadian way.
Okay, so being a manager and all, how much do you like working with artists? For real?
Oh, here we go.
Let me be careful because my artists might be watching this. No, honestly, I don't mind. I like it. When they're talented and when they're driven. A lot of artists, depending on male or female, I've learned that they go through different things in life, and some become
very emotional.
Yeah, see, very emotional, more emotional than others. They get tied into. They get, so it's like we got to deal with all of that.
Argumentative.
Managers become therapists and counselors and chauffeurs and all of that.
They don't understand what we went through to be artists in the 80s and 90s. So they think this Spotify is the future.
Yeah.
TikTok is going to get them shows. Spotify is going to play them in the clubs. Like, this is why I laugh at artists these days, because a lot of them are so ignorant to the system that they just think YouTube and all this stuff, numbers, gets you somewhere in life.
And I mean,
numbers,
you do have those few that that do make it, from those channels and different things like that. But it's like you gotta have that. You gotta have something very unique, to do that.
But the difference is having a track chart on Spotify and be on playlists and stuff, and never end up in a movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
And you're doing millions, don't make sense to me.
No, not at all.
And you don't end up in commercials,
That's because it is a known fact, and it has been proven by Spotify that this past year they did an audit. Can I say audit?
Listen,
and they found that all these PR guys, PR people, be bogus and phony and be buying. Shall I say box? Shall I say
I ain't gonna say no names, but I've seen the bot movement is huge because there's guys.
And they raised 750,000 accounts.
Yep.
OMG!
Yep.
What's your opinion on that, Draz?
TV shows, man, you gotta that's one thing that I try to push to artists that I work with, because me, for instance, I'm still getting deposits from Third Watch and Black Ink, Black Ink. And,
I was gonna touch on that. Wait, don't go too far.
All right, I ain't gonna go too far.
I was gonna touch on that because I was seeing where Chill was going with it. But come on, explain the Third Watch situation, because a lot of people don't know that. I was happy about that because when I heard the track, I was surprised. So, you know what I mean? So let's go with this. Third Watch.
Yeah, NBC Third Watch. That in itself. I mean, it came.
Name a song. Title. Come on, let's get that credits. Come on, you need more royalties.
No, I'm not, because and I tell you why though, because I'm not paperwork properly for that. I'm not getting my proper proof for that. I get credits, but it's just a different situation with that from my old management.
So explain those situations, you see, there's some things that you have out there that you don't get credit for, but you have credit for it.
Yeah, Black Ink. Still get credit. I do get credit for Black Ink, and I do get credit for Prison Break for Fives. But the Third Watch situation, that's a whole nother conversation.
A learning experience.
Prison Break, though, that's one of my favorite shows. So I have to say,
now those, learning.
But that's important though. I know guys who are still getting royalty checks from tracks from over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know what it's going to end up in.
Yeah. So definitely, I try to push those avenues to artists more so than the radio and the Spotify and things like that. So.
And how important was a DJ to you in your career?
DJ was very important. DJs are really the key. When I, coming up from when I grew up, growing up around hip hop and growing up around music, it was the MC and the DJ. And, so when I would perform, if I wasn't performing with a band or having a band, then I would have my DJ Flash, out of the city, out of Chicago. So it was I still had, had that connection because that's what I grew up in. Those are the roots. Those are the elements.
Go ahead, the boss. Go ahead. I know you got.
She want to say something.
Right. It's right there on the edge.
Okay, I want to know, what is there something about you that people assume that that's your character and it's not?
Don't say it, Draz. Don't say it.
Man, look. I'm on y'all time. I'm answering the questions. I ain't.
All right. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So you said people that assume it's my character, but not.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm arrogant.
Why do you say that, the boss?
a lot of people think I'm arrogant. So, you know, I'll take that and I'll run with it. But, you know, a lot of different things that I do, you know, for other people and things like that proves otherwise. Like I'm not that. You know, I give back to the youth. I give back to, you know, my immediate community and different things like that. And then I set aside my music career for other art. Like it was a lot of different things that, you know, to prove against that. So, but they say when they look at me, when they hear me, that's what come off. So.
Draz is just confident.
There you go.
That's all that is. He confident.
Arrogance is confidence, right?
Right, it's confidence.
Right, he's confident.
Yeah, but people that don't know you, that's what they assume something different, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they can't approach.
Well,
okay.
Big black men are always scary. It doesn't matter what we do. We just walk in the room and say, you know,
right.
What the hell?
Oh my goodness.
You don't know whoever's going to come from here.
Yeah, talking out is very interesting. We let our hair down.
I see. I love it though. I'm enjoying it though.
The only person I see letting their hair down is D-Boss, so I don't know where you're going with this.
We just let our ears down, I guess.
Right.
Okay, I want to ask Draz something. When you're moved on into the other world, what kind of legacy do you want to leave with your people?
You know, really just independence and you know, independence and hard work. Like I'm a grinder. You know, I got, you know, in my office here, I got a hustle poster and I got a grind poster with, you know, with the meaning broken down for each one. You know, anytime like there's many of pictures and video and things like that of me being out in the field working, whether it's been, you know, coming off stage to my son or, you know, being in a meeting and, you know, my daughter or something like that is next to me. It's like I try to make sure that they're involved. You know, my company right now, Leap, it's a family ran business. You know, I employed my niece, I employed my nephew. You know, when my daughters and my son get old enough, they'll be here to help out as well. So it's like I try to, you know, just bring that up and try to continue that legacy with us.
Well, that's some good values right there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you like to work with the youth. So what drove you to do that, to work with the youth?
I wanted to be somebody to them, be who I needed, you know, to them, be who I needed when I was their age. The youth that we deal with right now, they're from ages 10 to 13. And so, you know, around that time, you know, I got taken in by the streets around that time because my father was an entertainer and he also ran 2 businesses. So he was busy. So, you know, I was raised as an only child at that point. So it was like, what's left? You know, if I want to have some protection, I turn to the streets. I get sucked in, you know, by the streets and things like that. And, you know, it's way worse nowadays with the youth and what they can access to. So I'm just trying to be, you know, be that person that I needed for them around that same age.
So do you play sports?
No, I used to. You know, I play, you know, I threw a little basketball around in high school, but nah, you know, I've always been into other things, you know, whatever made money and made it quick.
Money,
I like that answer.
Jesse, man.
No athletic things here.
Nah.
Okay. All right. So I guess you got to go pay some bills. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I was going to say it, but last time I said it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to wait. And then, you know, when a network call, I'm going to just be like, that was D-Boss.
I'm going to tell them.
I kept telling them we had to pay bills. All right, so we'll be back after these messages because I want to get into this event that you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's huge out here. We'll be right back with more Talk It Out.
Whoa! Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, we're gonna make stuffed shells, and this is a winner of a recipe. add 3 cups of marinara sauce. We do have a really good homemade marinara, and I will leave a link to that in the recipe notes.
Tell our audience a little bit about your firm.
Our law firm is primarily engaging in litigation that has to do with trying to represent the underdog, period, plain and simple, the underdog people. Never had a corporate client in our lives. Representing people who have been injured, representing people that have been cheated. That's what we do. And against the big boys, Ford.
When the road is long and heavy, when it's dark and I can't see clearly, I will lift mine eyes to the hills from whence my help cometh. My help it comes from you.
When the road seems heavy.
That's a good
beat. That's that reggae contemporary. Yeah.
You give the best feedback after a commercial. It's like you need to get paid extra for that, man. That's dope.
Oh my!
My help comes from the Lord, and get a leap of faith in it also.
Man.
Oh man.
That's what we do every day.
Yeah, right. So, we have approximately about 6 million households that tune in to us during prime time, which we're on. And, my thing is, I know everybody gets on here and we always talk about, the different things that a person has done as far as an artist, as far as, where they're trying to go and get to. But I think it's very nice and unique that we have someone on today that we could talk about the things that he's doing in his community. The community work that you have put in, Draz, and the different things that you're doing now is astronomical. Why don't you tell the world about what you got going on out here, brother?
All right, so started last year, and we're approaching our second annual. Here it's called the Black Excellence Awards, and it's gala style. It's it's black tie, black carpet, not red carpet, black carpet. Event is real upscale, and what we do with that is we highlight a lot of the impactful people within our community, whether it be politics, food service, education, and those type of areas, those different areas. And, it's really like just to give that recognition. We started last year, February 2020, right before the pandemic hit. And it was like, we called it redefining Black history. Because it was Black History Month at that time. So it was like we wanted to redefine Black history. We feel that, we often get overlooked. We got a lot of impactful people and a lot of people that's out there doing some good things, and they often get overlooked. They don't get the credit they deserve, or they're not getting the flowers while they can still smell it. And so, with that, it was like we wanted to recognize those people, no matter how big or how small, but we wanted to, just recognize and give back and put them on a stage and on a platform to really do it. And last year, with it being our first annual, like we sold every single ticket. And with that, it was an amazing thing, because it was like it was our first event, and it ended up being the only event our community had, because COVID hit a couple of weeks later. But we sold every single ticket, turned people away. We had everybody from the Supreme judges to the sheriff, to the sheriff in the building. We had state representatives and different things like that. So we had a lot of movers and shakers in the building. And so now we're en route to planning the second annual, which was supposed to be in February, but it's now delayed until May. Sorry. We're going to be doing that in May, and it's going to be just as big, because we sold out our last venue. We're getting a venue that's twice as big, and hopes that we'll go, way bigger and better.
Yeah. So, by you having all of that power in the building and a lot of the influence through the communities and things of that nature, I'm sure that that's stemming over to this year, where people now want to be more involved in what's going on, because of, the way in which you led, the whole rolled everything out. What made you want to come up with that? Like, how did you come up with that?
In the city, there's another marketing company that does something similar, and it was like, I like the idea. I would help and attend them for for many amount of years, and I'm like, what? It's so many people in our own community here that deserve the same type of plateau, that deserve the same type of recognition. And so I wanted to bring it, with our style and with our twist. I wanted to bring it to the area. Like I said, seeing and knowing that we had so many impactful people that deserve the recognition. So I wanted to do something like that here.
Okay. So, Despair, do you have any questions for Draz on his black tie affair that he has every year?
I just appreciate what he's doing because, like, I do the same type of stuff out here, so it's good to see someone doing it.
That's dope.
I appreciate that because we do a lot of outreach stuff for like children with integrating with their parents who have been in prison. It's like a lot of kids and stuff, and parents don't know how to work with each other after they've been away from each other for so long. And then getting youth off the street and just teaching them how to do music and giving them an opportunity. Because everybody thinks like drug dealing is like the biggest thing in life, and trying to be like that. And I showed
it's easy money and it's flashy. That's
but after everything, getting shot at, stabbed, all these things, and then the medical problems you have after, and then the mental problems you have after, it's just like, is it worth it? No. Like, you try to teach them that, they just like, oh, you're old. I wonder why.
They're thinking with a now mentality, though. They're not thinking, beyond. Like I said earlier, like you gotta think and stay around, ahead of the curve or whatever. They're thinking for now. They're thinking about the situation now.
But the problem is these days is if you're not hanging out with millionaires, you're not gonna have a millionaire mind state.
True.
You know what I'm saying? If you're hanging out with thugs, you're always gonna be thinking thugs.
True, and that's that's one thing that I always try to give a bit of advice out to is to surround yourself with people that are where you're trying to go. Surround yourself with people that are in that position and that'll uplift you.
And that's why a lot of people are having problems because they're always thinking that everybody needs to come up with them. You can't take everybody with you.
No, then they end up like MC Hammer. So,
seriously, man, that made him bankrupt. Like having that many people rolling with him.
Yeah.
Like even though he was a powerhouse for a show, for a man to control that many people, on stage and events, and it was all just to go against Michael Jackson. And he ain't got Michael Jackson like that.
So. We got the conspiracies in the building.
Not a conspiracy. Every time Michael Jackson dropped a video, he had to come with a bigger video.
Yeah.
It was like a competition back and forth, man. And the amount of people Michael Jackson had to the amount of people MC Hammer had. The movies, like, come on, their videos were movies. They weren't regular videos. Like,
that's true.
Turned His Mother Out was like a movie.
Mike has some many movies, man.
Thriller, everything. Like remember the time?
He
just took
all
the whole cast from
But it was incredible because Mike was the first that I've ever seen. Even to this day, I haven't seen no one do it. Where they came out with a horror film at the beginning of a music video. Like it was literally a horror flick. You know what I mean?
It was.
Like, and you haven't seen that in music, like the creativity.
Because there's nobody doing that. Like Busta Rhymes when he did the creativity like that. Like Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson in a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to, and especially with the green screens and the things we have now, people have gone backwards with the videos. What we used to be like.
You would think that they would be going forward.
But they, they want to pocket more money. Labels want to get more money. They don't want to put it out for marketing, so throw it in front of a green screen and go.
But the only person I've seen do that since is Jadakiss, and like his last album, Me.
Yeah.
When he did the whole movie, the whole thing, and then told the story after why, then it just became loyalty, trust, and respect.
Yeah.
And it was wicked because everybody started to do a cinematic type of thing. Even
You know what? I take that back. T.I. did do that. T.I. did that with that movie sort of thingish that he had a couple of years ago. It was to what song was that? It was some song he had. You can look it up. It's the only movie type video that he had.
Busta Rhymes did it crazy.
Busta Rhymes was constantly doing that type
of
stuff.
Busta Rhymes. Well, put your hands what I could see. The one thing everybody's gonna remember is that one dancer turning his head around. You know what I mean? And that guy ended up in a lot of movies and stuff later.
Yeah.
Cameo did a lot too.
Just because he could move his body like that.
And Cameo did a lot in time. Those people did good too.
Cameo?
Yeah,
See, but
you can't forget them.
Now, here we go. Now, if we're going to go into time, then we got to look at Prince. And Prince was like one of the first ones to do a whole movie on his life. You know what I mean? Like, Purple Rain changed a lot of lives. I have to
Rick James.
Here we go. I knew he was going to go back to Chuck Berry.
See, if we got to bring Rick James in, then you got to understand that Prince is the reason why Rick James got upset. so you got to watch
facts, yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah, that is facts.
Not a lot of people gonna point that out, but that's facts.
No, don't get it. Well, he brought him on, right? And then Prince was like the man. So then when Prince got everybody, Rick James was like, And then Prince, Rick James tried to stay, pro-black and everything, and then Prince wanted to be diverse to everybody.
With them braids, but everybody's wearing that now. Those braids, whatever they are, big braid or whatever.
Listen, Rick James's look is in now. Okay, I'll tell you that right. And then Migos just took it to a whole new level.
Yeah, everybody's always taking it to a different level.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't no other group's gonna be like the Times though. Like and Levert and them. Like, you haven't even seen groups these days come with a whole family anymore. Ain't nobody want to hang out with each other now. It's just like back then it's like let's get money together. I'll be back with dancing.
Like After Six, remember After Six that came out?
Oh my god! like this dude
very bad
going on there with Tito and Jermaine.
Hey, listen. Jermaine is still making music, and he's got a TV show.
Yeah.
And then the barges, and it wasn't DeBarge and those guys.
Man, if we want to go to the barge, and then we want to that was fun. That was fun.
Hey, so before we go on a final commercial break, and have Draz, tell us his contacts, and I say contacts.
What are you trying to do right here?
How you can reach him and this and that. Before we do all of that, Draz, I just want to ask you, can you give some people some info as far as where and when you'll be having the event, where they can get their tickets from, or if they just want to send in a donation to the event to support it? I'm sure nobody's going to fly from the islands to come to the event.
Hey, man, if you live streams, I'll talk to
you never know.
Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. But, send in any type of donation or anything.
Yeah, we just secured the venue. So the website is beawardsgala.com. And that's actually going to be it. Right now we're uploading footage and things from last year, so it'll be back up this Friday, but beawardsgala.com. We got sponsorship information, ticketing information, voting, and everything like that on the website.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to go ahead, pay a couple of more bills, and we'll be back to send out Mr. Draz the right way. So with that being said, see you in a minute.
I'm David Meltzer, and welcome to 2 Minute Drill. Each contestant will get 2 minutes to pitch. Then they will answer one question and get feedback from our other featured judges.
Improve every area of communication while saving time is what I've been doing for the last 15 years with startup solopreneurs up to C-level leaders at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. I do it by combining two truths we all know, just rarely combine.
Welcome to Real Life Matters. I'm your host, D-Boss. Real Life Matters is a power-packed, inspired program that brings you real people with real matters. If you're a company, brand, or artist, we will take you to the next level. Watch Real Life Matters Monday to Friday right here.
Well, hey, now remember, what Real Life Matters comes on right before my show, Monday through Friday, and the boss right there, she is the host. The host, you know. You never know what you're going to get from talking out, but you really don't never know what you're going to get from Real Life Matters.
Does it keep it real?
Keep it real. Right. Keep it real. So with that being said, DJ Despair, do you have any closing statements for Mr. Draz?
Man, just keep doing what you're doing and hopefully get to work in the future.
Oh, definitely. I'm always here. Just let me know.
The boss?
Yeah. I want to know, what do you want to do that you haven't done yet?
What do I want to do that I haven't done yet? I never thought about it. I don't know.
Wow.
It's the first question that somebody answered, asked me. I haven't. See $1 million. Put it like that. See $1 million. That's the easy.
Put it like that.
I want to reach 1 million in a year. So.
There you go. So tell everybody your social medias and stuff before we let you go.
All right. Draz Asbury Senior on every platform as far as Instagram, Facebook, DrazAsbury Senior. You can reach the company LEAP. That's LEAP. Leap Design and Print Company. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Lock us in on the web at leapdp.com. And definitely lock in and stay tuned for the Black Excellence Awards Gala too.
All right. So with that being said, everybody have a great night. And Draz, you have now been talked out.
Appreciate y'all.
Later.
All right, man.
Peace.